read a piece, maybe say a few words about Ray.
I knew Ray since 1983 when I began working with him as a journalist, and I knew him both as a journalist and a poet. He was a mentor to me in both regards. I'm going to read what I consider one of his masterpieces, if not his masterpiece. It's called Insomnia. Thank you, Sue, for letting me read it. It's a little bit longer. As a preamble, I don't like preambles, but it's important to know that Ray was an absolute perfectionist and a man who was just hounded by some kind of devil. He had a serious drinking problem. It is certainly involved with his death. And this is a poem that deals with all of this. Many of his poems end with the most beautiful sense of oblivion. Most of them are very raw in terms of his depiction of the city and his life, and very humanistic. But many of them end with this wonderful, out of reach, but seemingly inevitable oblivion. And this is one of them. It's called Insomnia. Some radios on call-in stations buzzed and crackled underneath my bed at night, preventing me from sleeping. As I tossed to find a posture that would shut them out and let me sleep at least an hour, the buzz began congealing into words I heard. But all the voices ranted on their harsh, obsessive paths of snide hysteria, contemptuously barking down the ones who called. And gradually, they harmonized, till everyone was talking all the same, but throwing echoes like you get around a baseball park when radios throughout the stands all blare the same announcer's voice, with just a small delay, announcer's voice, a small delay, from those that stretch out through the distance of the packed and restless crowd. I gripped the sheets, and as the voices came together, they emerged from underneath my bed as holograms, heads that rose above me. They were stern and never blinked. They hung there silently. Then one spoke, repeated by the rest, in staggered sequence like those rounds in songs for kids. You will succeed, in crushing spirits. Those around you will be damaged by your good intentions, just the way it's always been. It's always been your good intentions. All the precious dreams you now can bring to sweet fruition, after years of work and struggle, will indeed come true by years of work and struggle. But the dreams will turn to what you're suffering now, though 10 times worse. You're suffering now, 10 times worse. You'll feel you've chased a dim, elusive ghost, and when you finally grasp a hold, it burns like steam, elusive ghost. And when you finally grasp a hold, it burns and dissipates. Elusive ghost, it burns like steam, elusive ghost, and dissipates in air. You will be lonely growing old, but you will always have consoling hope of true self-realization growing old. You will be lonely with consoling hope of true self-realization in a bleach-locked ward, creating realization in a bleach-locked ward, creating moccasins. The first head stopped and licked its lips, and all the other heads, cascading echoes, closed that final cadence one by one, and fell to silence, hissing on the moccasins. I thought the heads would fade and let me sleep, but they continued pulsing, shimmering reflections of the green electric glow my bedside clock emitted, 3:09. And then the first head spoke again. There's a way for you to show some courage now, to compensate for all the harm and all the disappointment your pathetic deeds of goodness have inflicted on the world. It's in your hands to leave the world a kind of legacy. And all the heads joined in. Your absence. Then the first head spoke again. Bequeath your absence, which will carve a space for light where only shadows loom. I started getting up, but then he spoke again. Be grateful for the shit you'll miss. The riots over gasoline, the floods from polar ice caps melting, wars and bombs, and mobs arousing people from their beds at night for quick tribunals, marched away for execution, confiscating hearts and eyes and kidneys for the auction trade. Be glad you'll miss it. Count your blessings. All the other heads agreed and nodded yes, in unison. You've got a chance to grab your fate, so be proactive. Close the deal and never let them say again you lack the traits of character that leaders show. I leaped from bed and threw a punch, but all the heads dispersed in glowing smoke. I did 100 jumping jacks and drank a couple beers, a shot of vodka, then another, till my nerves began to calm. Until my nerves began to calm. A shot of vodka till my nerves relaxed. I tried to mute the echoes with a cable show on offshore drilling. Drilling through the sea to punch a hole into the crust of Earth. I wondered why the ocean doesn't all run down the hole into the molten core and turn to steam and rise up through the cracks in streets and cellar floors. We'll heat our homes, while cars with little vacuum cleaners suck it up to move their pistons. Power plants could draw it in through turbine blades to spin all day. We'll never have to drill again. We'll never have to drill a rolling sea, arrayed before the light when everyone is warm and all the wars have ended. All the pretty sea is warm and all the fish are thriving. And we never have to drill again. While everyone is warm and all the fish arrayed before us shine, and all the turbines turn, and all the cars run on in silence to the pretty sea, where all the fish are rolling and the wars are done.